Washington and Lee women's basketball teams find themselves on an 8-game win streak going into a 3-game homestand, kicking off today against the Guilford College Quakers, who are in the midst of a strong season themselves, but on a 2-game slide going into this contest. Hello and welcome to Holekamp Gym in the Richard L. Duchossois Athletic Center and Recreation Center on the campus of Washington and Lee University for some Saturday afternoon basketball action. I'm Shane Rowley, joined by my partner, Kaden Buss. So glad you could join us on the General Sports Network. And Kaden, what has been the key to the General success recently on this 8-game win streak?
Well, really what's come on great is Mary Sleisner, of course, has been playing as amazing as she always had against Shenandoah. She had 25 points, 24 boards, and then, of course, another 30-30 game down in Salem against Roanoke College. But the real X factor for the Generals has been Sarah Zimmerman coming on, moving into the starting lineup today for only her 3rd start of the season. The junior, 2-sport star, also an All-American in soccer, has finally caught the groove after starting off the season a little bit slow after making a run into the playoffs in the NCAA tournament in soccer. She's come on strong. Really an amazing player who can do it at all 3 levels. She can score at all 3 levels, but she can also rebound, play defense, and pass the ball. High IQ player that can be a true X factor for this Generals team.
Yeah, and Zimmerman stepping into the lineup today for the Generals. She'll look to put on some big minutes. And if you take a look at the other side of the floor at the Guilford College Quakers, coming in at 11-6 so far on the season, but a couple of losses back-to-back. One against the top ODAC team in Bridgewater, currently still undefeated at 9-0 in conference play. And then you take a look at their other loss against Roanoke. Their last game out, it was a tight one all the way down to the wire. They ended up only losing by a final score of 73-68, but the game came down all the way down to the wire. It's a game that they really would have liked to have had back in some certain moments. But how do the Guilford College Quakers avoid a loss like that today and get off on a better foot after that 2-game losing streak?
And for the Quakers, it's really all going to start with Anna Giannopoulos. Anna Giannopoulos has come back from an injury, and in her last 2 road games, she's averaged 16 points, almost 11 boards, 1.5 steals, and shot 55% from the field. For a forward, a 6'1" forward, she's going to have to do it on both sides of the floor. She's going to have to hold Mary Sleisner. Don't watch the number of points Mary Sleisner gets tonight. Instead, watch the field goal shooting percentage. Guilford College actually averages more points per game than the Generals, and you would never guess it by their style of play. The Generals do it on the defensive end, and for Guilford to win this, it's not going to be about the amount of points that Mary Sleisner scores. It's going to be about the shooting clip that she and the rest of the Generals shoot from the field goal percentage.
All right, we're about to have the national anthem here on court, so we'll step aside for a moment as the national anthem gets back, and we'll get starting lineups and some ODAC action when we return. Welcome back to the Holekamp Gym on the campus of Washington and Lee University. We're just about ready to get into some basketball action for you, but first, we got to get to the starting lineups. First coming up for the Guilford Quakers. They're head coached by Coach Sarah Matthews in her fifth season as the head coach of the Guilford College Quakers. And getting into their starting lineup, first is number 1, junior guard from Taylorsville, North Carolina, Juliana Walter. Number 2, sophomore guard from LaSalle de France, Zoe Bayer. Number 4, a junior forward from Athens, Greece, it's Anna Giannopoulos. Number 23, a sophomore guard from Graham, North Carolina. Number 23, Brenna Scott. Number 42, a senior forward from Lexington, North Carolina, it's Courtney McMillan. And now the starters for the Washington and Lee Generals. They're head coached by Coach Brittany Kemp in her first season, and then Coach Katie Garish also in her first season as assistant coach. First up for the Generals, it's number 5, a junior forward from Cincinnati, Ohio, Sarah Zimmerman. Then it's number 10, a junior guard from Corvallis, Oregon, Elka Prekel. And it's number 14, a junior guard from Columbia, New Jersey, Quinn McGinnis. It's number 30, a sophomore forward from Little Rock, Arkansas, Riley Bryant. And rounding out the general starting lineup, number 50, a junior forward from Charlotte, North Carolina, it's Mary Schleisner. All right, and as we're getting into this game, Kaden, any keys to this matchup for either side if they're looking to get a W today?
And really, looking at both sides of it, it's going to rest on the shoulders of 2 players. Of course, not entirely, but there are 2 players that are going to be X factors in this one, and it's neither of either Guilford or W&L's top player. We already mentioned it. Anna Giannopoulos is going to have to play such a big factor here today for the Quakers, both on the offensive and defensive end. She's been on fire, but she's going to have to defend Mary Schleisner for all 40 minutes of this one. And then Sarah Zimmerman for the Generals, such an intelligent player, cuts to the right places, makes the right passes, so many winning plays.
And early already, you can see Guilford trying to be active on defense. Zimmerman now cutting to the paint. Prekel with it, surveying the court. Zimmerman will pull up with a mid-range. Unable to knock it down, and that one comes off of the hands of Schleisner down in the paint, and it'll be Guilford ball.
And an early call that the Generals seem to be a little bit confused about. That one looked like it went off the Quakers. Mary Schleisner looked around and was like, wasn't that our ball? But of course, going to the Quakers, and we'll see what they have offensively. For the offense, it's going to have to run through Juliana Walter, their point guard.
And there's Scott on the outside, long-range shot, unable to get it to fall. McGinnis with the rebound, trying to push it up. She finds Zimmerman. Had good position inside, but had it stripped.
And that's one of the things that Quinn McGinnis does for you if you are the Generals. Quinn McGinnis, such an amazing passer, the point guard of this team. She does it at all 3 phases of the games.
Schleisner off that inbound, trying to get it to go, but Bryant with the steal. And great defense there from Guilford all around as they try to get out on the fast break here. Here's McMillan. Swinging around now with Walter. It's now Bayer, their top scorer. And Walter now looking to slow things down a little bit and get into their offense.
You can see Sarah Zimmerman must have read the scouting report, almost daring Walter to go left.
And Giannopoulos there just getting a little careless with their feet. Travels there, but as you talked about, Zimmerman, some good defense up there, putting some pressure, and Generals win the ball back. Schleisner will be the one to take it. She's looking to go all the way. And great defense there again from Giannopoulos, and blocks the ball from Schleisner. Both sides right now really just going back and forth. No one able to get anything going offensively.
You can see both sides want to play at a high pace of play.
Schleisner finds Prekel wide open in the corner, but she misses. And Walter Speed now gets out on the break, looking for the first points of the game, and she'll find it for 2.
That's one of the things about this General team. They want to go fast, play hard, but of course, Guilford College going right back at them and killing them with their own poison.
This game's been off to a flying start, and we got our first foul call of the game there. That one looks like it'll go against Zoe Bayer down low. A little too handsy on defense, and a lot of substitutions already coming in for Guilford. Makarla Massenberg checks in, as well as number 34, Skylar Furr. And they're going to say that Sleisner traveled there. Another substitution, Carly Perry, number 14, also checking in for the Quakers.
The Quakers doing a lot defensively right now, really just flashing at the Generals, showing them pressure and giving them some problems.
And one more substitution also came in for Guilford there, number 3, Taylor Dunn, junior guard. Guilford now moving the ball around on offense. It's Perry now trying to get inside the paint, but Sleisner picks her pocket. Trying to go coast to coast. She gets a shot up, nowhere close. Just chaos on the floor right now for this Generals offense, but Guinness there drawing the blocking foul.
Right there, Riley Bryant making a winning play, diving after that loose ball that was going out of bounds, saved it in, and just like that, McGinnis is able to draw a blocking charge. It gets a first foul on the board, and just maybe it'll change the pace of play a little bit.
Wide open three there, attempt for the Generals, unable to get that ball to fall, but able to get the offensive rebound and continue to swing it around. McGinnis now wide open in the corner, and she knocks it down for the Generals' first bucket of the game 3 minutes into this contest.
Yeah, and the Generals were 0 for 5 before that big shot there by Quinn McGinnis. She's showing why she is such an X factor, the playmaker, the point guard of this offense, ending the scoring drought, giving them an early lead.
Yeah, both teams really struggling offensively. The defensive pressures seem to work, and it's going to be, I believe, another travel call there against Taylor Dunn. A lot of travels already early in this game as well.
You can see both teams are do it from the defensive end. Just showing a lot of pressure right now, giving the offense some fits.
For the Generals there, number 21, Icy Kanea checks in to the game. She finds herself with the ball in her hands early. Guilford now pressuring up on the three-point arc. It'll be Shuttlewood with the three. She's unable to knock it down. She's had a couple early good looks in this one. And now Perry driving all the way, and they're gonna get a foul there on Kanea with a little bit of a push.
Quakers also going to the bench early. 4 early substitutions just shows at the pace of play they want to play. And how about that from Sarah Zimmerman, showing off her soccer skills.
Yeah, anything you can do to get a hand, a foot, or anything on that ball, not let it get through. Both teams playing very physical in the early going. A great inbounds play off that pass, but McMillan just unable to finish the wide open layup. Generals now find Kanea wide open on the arc. Gets her home board, goes to the rim, finishes. A great offensive rebound there from Kanea. And finishes it off with 2.
The Generals are getting a lot of three-point looks right now early on, and that's just product of really good passing. But that one was a hustle play from Icy Kanea.
And a huge substitution group coming in again. It'll be 4 that checked out to start the game. Walter Bayer, Giannopoulou, Scott coming back into the game. It'll be Perry, the only bench player to remain in for the Quakers. Sleisner able to cut to the rim and find 2 points. She struggled early, but able to get her first bucket of the night.
That's one of the amazing things that Mary Sleisner can do. She can do it down in the post, but also go coast to coast like that, make so many miraculous floaters, layups, and whatnot.
Sleisner grabs the board off of that miss from Perry. Zimmerman now trying to use her height. She finds Shuttlewood wide open. Sleisner a tough board down low, and They call a foul there. That one looks like it's going against number 23, Brianna Scott. And it'll be the first media timeout of this one. We'll step aside for a brief moment as the Generals lead 7-2 with 4:53 left in the first quarter. Back here on the campus of Washington and Lee and Holekamp gym. Both teams coming out of that media timeout, looking to settle things down a little bit offensively. Zimmerman misses that wide open layup. And Scott now trying to push it up. She finds Bayer inside, back to Scott. Scott able to finish it.
Right now, the best offense for Guilford is their defense. All 4 of their points coming on fast break opportunities.
Slicer trying to get good position inside. She's unable to finish. It'll be Shuttlewood now with it up top. Gets a screen from Slicer. Zimmerman now will take the 3. And she knocks it home. Zimmerman left wide open. Why not take the 3 and knocks down the second Generals long ball of the contest.
Like we talked about earlier, the Generals getting so many looks from outside right now.
And they're trying to match, unable to hit. And Zimmerman now pushing it up. Great hands there inside. Bayer able to come away with it with the fast break opportunity. She's so good at getting to the rim and able to finish there for 2.
And now all 6 of their points still coming on fast break opportunities. But the issue for Guilford right now has been defensive rebounding. The Generals have 5 offensive boards and 8 more field goal attempts than them.
And Zimmerman again trying her luck from distance, not able to hit that one, and Walter will take it the other way. A good move to get inside. Little hesitation and draws the foul. She'll be shooting 2. Again, for Guilford, a huge group of substitutions coming in. Same group that we saw last time, the Generals bringing in Megan Zimmerman and Lauren Actor, who've checking in for the first time this game.
So far, Guilford has actually been pretty efficient offensively, 42% from the field, but 5 turnovers has been what is killing them. The Generals, even though they have almost 10 more field goal attempts, only have a lead by 3 and a chance to make it 2 here for Guilford.
For Guilford there, another substitution. Walter checks out of the game, and it'll be Massenberg coming in. And for the Generals, McGinnis checks back into the game, and Shuttlewood will get a breather. And as you said, Kaden, the Generals really have done a good job of getting a lot of shot opportunities, but that hasn't necessarily contributed to a big lead as it's only a 2-point game.
Guilford has been taking the Generals 2 turnovers, going coast to coast. Check that, 3 turnovers. And have just been pushing it, but you can see the high pace of play going both ways.
And a great move there from Slicer. You can see how she draws so much attention down low, and Zimmerman there wide open, able to finish. And another travel against Guilford. That's really been a problem, as you've talked about, Kaden, these turnovers, and especially coming from traveling. I believe that's their 3rd or 4th already of this game. Another turnover going back the other way. Fur with it. She gives it off to Dunn. Dunn trying to find her way inside, over to Massenberg. Slicer in low on Fur and blocks Fur. Zimmerman with it now trying to push it up. Great position inside from Slicer there, forcing a great defensive play and a great block. And Zimmerman able to get right to the rim. Just unable to finish inside. It's been a theme in this Generals game so far, shooting under 30% from the field. It's Dunn taking it up for Guilford. McMillan now with it. Guilford offensively have really yet to settle into their half-court looks. As you can see, they, again, struggle to maintain possession. Sarah Zimmerman will check back in. Lauren Actor, after a couple minutes, will head back to the bench. For Guilford, you really like to see them settle it down a little bit here and try to not force anything and look for get an open look.
Not a lot of great offensive movement here for Guilford as the shot clock winds down.
And Fur just had great position inside there on Preckle. The height advantage was all she needed there, and she's able to finish for two. His hands very active on both sides of the court. Guilford knocking that ball away. Zimmerman there, pump faking the three. McGinnis had her shot blocked by Fur. Dunn pushing him up to Bayer. And she'll try a three. And unable to hit. Megan Zimmerman finds herself open. Unable to hit anything from there. And that ball came off of McGinnis trying to grab the rebound, and the ball will go back to Guilford. As they make a platoon substitution here, all five players coming out for them. It'll be Walter, Scott, Harry, Giannopoulou, and then checking in for the first time today, it's Jael Hall.
Great defense here in the half-court trap, full-court trap, I should say, from the Generals that forces the turnover.
And both sides really just putting pressure on ball handlers and passers and making it difficult to play. It's contributed a lot to the struggles that we've seen from the field for both sides. And McGinnis did a really good job there, getting some inside position, draws the foul there on Walter. She'll go to the line for two.
Just a nice crossover move there from Quinn McGinnis. Getting downhill, some momentum towards the cup, felt the contact and really just drew that foul as Walter was swiping down.
McGinnis able to knock down the first one. Trying to hit this next one to bring the Generals lead back up to 4. She's able to do so. Couple of free throws there, and now Riley Bryant will come back into the game for the Generals for Megan Zimmerman. Scott with it now. She pushes it up with Perry. This is the kind of ball movement the Quakers have been looking for. Quick movement. Slicer with good position inside on defense.
You can see the defense right now from the Generals is suffocating Guilford, and Giannopoulou only has 6 seconds to go.
And Walter with 2 on the shot clock, tries to get to the rim, has it blocked by Zimmerman. Of course, that'll go down shot clock violation. Another great defensive possession there for Washington and Lee.
And right there, that's every coach's dream defensively, not even allowing the Quakers to get a shot off where the Generals there. The one shot they did get off got blocked.
Bryant cut into the rim, Kicks it out to McGinnis. Slicer pressured inside. They're going to call it a foul. Looked like it may have been a potential jump ball, but Slicer did a good job there just ripping it away. She'll go to the line.
Now it's going to be double bonus free throws here for the Generals.
Slicer there getting the bounce. That one will go in. Unable to hit the second one, and now Guilford now with 20 seconds on the clock. They don't have to take a shot before the end of the half. They don't have to give the ball back to the Generals, that is. Giannopoulou trying to find position inside, unable to knock it down, and give the Generals 3 seconds on the clock here. Schleister from half court, unable to knock it down, but the Generals go into the second quarter with a 15-10 lead after some struggles from both sides from the field.
Yeah, and the Generals have shot 20 field goal attempts, only made 5 of them, 25% from the field. It's not the percentage you're looking for, but you have to be so happy with your defense if you're Coach Kemp. For Guilford, you have to stop turning the ball over at such a high clip. 8 turnovers. That's led to only 12 field goals to the Generals' 21 field goal attempts. That really has been the difference in what has given the Generals lead despite Guilford shooting better from the field.
Yeah, and if the Generals start shooting better from the field, that's really where it might start to come back to hurt Guilford with all those turnovers. But the Generals not been able to really find it from the field. As you said, just shooting 23%. Certainly not ideal, only 20% from 3, but they still do find themselves with a 5-point lead. As we have some time now, we'll take a look at the current ODAC standings. Bridgewater currently sitting atop the conference, 16-1 overall, 9-0. Then Randolph-Macon at 8-0 in conference play. Then you find the Generals 14th ranked nationally, sitting at 7-1. Their only loss to Bridgewater earlier this season in conference. Then you have Shenandoah, Ferrum, Guilford up next, sitting at the 6th spot, 11-6, 5-4 in conference play. Then Hollins, Randolph, Roanoke, Lynchburg, Virginia Wesleyan, Eastern Mennonite, and Averett round out the ODAC standings. When you take a look at the top, those top 3 teams, Washington, Lee, Randolph-Macon, and Bridgewater, all within a game of each other in conference play. So tight up at the top, and all these games for the Generals in Guilford matter so much in determining position and seeding in the ODAC, as it always is so tight.
And unfortunately for the Generals, they don't have another matchup against Bridgewater. They fell in their only matchup of this season, so they're not going to be able to get back at them. But they do have an opportunity next Saturday, February 1st, against Randolph-Macon here in Lexington, one that we're looking forward to. But, of course, Coach Kemp and the Generals looking at today's game, the next quarter, the next play.
And Scott trying to find inside position, gets it back out to Giannopoulou. It's Walter with a couple screens up top. Giannopoulou, she'll take the 3 and knocks it down for the Quakers' first 3 of the contest to pull them back within 2.
Just like that, it's a 2-point game. We'll see if the Generals want to go quick, and they do. Always attacking early and often.
And Preckle, she'll try her luck from distance. And from a few steps behind the arc, Preckle knocks down a deep 3.
And Elka Preckle is the most outstanding shooter on this roster. 32.5% from her career. Is
Slicer, they're going to say, committed the foul down inside. Up top, it looked clean, but, or rather, they're going to say it's on Riley Bryant. Slicer had the block there, but Bryant commits the blocking foul, so it'll be 2 shots at the line for McMillan. She's able to knock down the first for her first points of the night. She's a 5'9" senior, averaging about 13 points or 12.5 points a contest, but really struggled to get going in that first quarter. But maybe just a couple shots from the line will get her on court.
Courtney McMillan, along with Giannopoulou, really have to slow down Sleisner as you see them trapping her in the corner right there.
An excellent shot there from Zimmerman. Slicer, as you said, drawing the double team and kicking it right inside for Zimmerman for an and-one opportunity.
And right there, that's what every coach ever will teach you on a fast break opportunity. Get down to the corner of the the corner of the court and find a cutting teammate to the basket. Right there, Zimmerman making the right cut and going up for the easy deuce +1.
She's able to convert on the and one, bringing the Generals' lead up to 6. It's tying their largest lead of the contest. And McMillan found herself a good position inside, and Walter and Preckle there tied up for a jump ball to stay with Guilford. Walter the one to inbound it. She finds Giannopoulou inside. Walter kicks right back out. Misses everything on that shot. They're going to say Perry there. Committed the foul on the rebound. They're going to say that's actually against Giannopoulou there on the rebound. Her first foul of the game. And some more substitutions now. Massenberg back into the game, done as well. Bayer also come back in for the Quakers. Bayer, their top scorer this season, but just with 2 points in that first quarter and only a couple of shot attempts. So if you're the Guilford Quakers, you'd expect, and the foul does actually go on Perry, as I mentioned earlier. For the Quakers, you really hope that Perry can get going offensively and try to uncork them. Quakers who have struggled, especially with ball handling. Quakers now a little bit of full court pressure. But Preckle left wide open on the far end. Had her shot blocked by Massenberg, and they're going to say a foul on Sleisner coming for the rebound.
Those are just not the fouls you want to be called if you're Coach Kemp. That one was a loose ball foul she's going up for. Shaking her head, knows it was a foul, but 80 feet from the basket, those are the tough ones that you don't want to push Guilford into bonus territory and give them some free points.
And McMillan again getting inside. That time the Generals close out on it and force a tough layup she's not able to hit. Zimmerman looking for Sleisner. She dives for the ball. Finds Bryant. A lot of movement underneath the cup, but no shot for the Generals. And Preckle will just pull up for a three and knock it down. Her second of the quarter. She's starting to heat up.
And this is exactly what Guilford is going to have to be scared of. The Generals shooting a little bit better from the field this quarter, giving them a 9-point lead.
Yeah, that's exactly what we talked about at the end of that first quarter. The Generals shooting better, but we'll step aside. Here are the Generals with a 9-point lead, leading 24-15 with 7:52 in the second quarter. Welcome back to Holekamp Gym here in Lexington, Virginia, with the Generals now leading 24-15, building the biggest lead of the game so far, thanks to a couple of Preckle threes this quarter and some better shooting on their side. Scott now, she'll take the mid-range. Good look for her, and she's just unable to knock it down. Guilford starting to struggle a little bit from the field this quarter. Zimmerman gets out on the break for an easy two.
And a fantastic outlet pass there from Quinn McGinnis. Grabs the rebound, pushes up, and finds a cutting Zimmerman right to the basket for an easy deuce.
Bayer cuts inside, finds Scott. She'll put up her shot, unable to not get it to go. It's going to be another loose ball foul there That one looks like it's going against McMillan. They're going to call it on Scott there. Cannot really stay out of foul trouble. Guilford now already 3 fouls committed. Not even as many minutes this quarter.
Guilford coming out, trying to stick with that pressure, change things up a little bit. They came out early in the pressure work, but the Generals been able to push past it and get an easy few buckets. Might have to start thinking of changing some defensive scheme.
And another offensive rebound there for the Generals by Zimmerman. Slicer will try her luck from distance and knock down another 3 for this Generals offense.
And Mary Slicer is not traditionally known as a three-point threat, but doing it from every level here today, just as she has been as of late.
And Guilford there with a 30-second timeout, but we'll keep it here. Generals quickly ballooning this lead up to 14 points. As you said, Mary Slicer, not known for her three-point abilities, but she's been certainly improving upon that in practice, and you can see it turning around in games. She's certainly shooting better than she has her previous 2 seasons. The Generals this quarter have shot a lot better from the field, up to 35%, both from the three-point arc and from the field goal, and just from general field goal range. But take a look at Guilford now. Their shooting percentage all the way down to 27% and just not really getting the looks that they want offensively.
And in the second quarter, the Generals are 5 for 8 from the field, good for 62%. Guilford 1 for 6, so a little bit of a flip of the script here, Shane. Guilford's done a little bit better of a job taking care of the ball, but have not been able to put it into the basket.
It's McMillan now. She cross-court pass. It's Perry trying to go up and find 2. Just gets blocked by the backboard, and Slicer now out on the break. She'll take on the 3v1. She's fouled inside by McMillan. Not much McMillan could do there with Slicer with a full head of steam. For Guilford, these fouls had quite a few in the first quarter, but already almost as many this quarter as they had. Foul trouble certainly something to keep an eye on as this game progresses. Slicer unable to hit the first. She's able to hit the second in her second trip to the line. Both trips going 1 for 2, and McGinnis now going to the bench.
And an 11-0 run now from the Generals. Here's where you have to stop the bleeding if you're Guilford. Need a basket here.
Slowing it down offensively with Walter. Surveying on the top of the key. McMillan with it. Giannopoulou will try from distance. She had one in the first quarter, but unable to knock that one down. And Scott will check back into the game. And Scott, though, already with 3 personal fouls. Not even halfway through the second quarter. She'll have to be careful out there. She's guarding Kanea, the General's side. Zimmerman pulls up distance, and she knocks down her second 3 of the contest. The floodgates have really opened up for the Generals from beyond the arc this quarter.
And a beautiful play there. Stagger screen into the pop for Sarah Zimmerman, who knocked it down.
So Megan Zimmerman there committing the loose ball foul on Skylar Furr. Perry had an open look from 3, though, and she was unable to knock it down. And more substitutions for Guilford. A very active bench they've had this game. It'll be Dunn, Massenberg, and Bay are the ones checking in. Giannopoulou will also come back in. So Scott, short-lived stint out there for the Quakers. See, Coach Matthews really likes keeping her bench moving and keeping fresh legs on the court. Giannopoulou just unable to get a good look inside with Slicer on her. and there may have gotten away with a couple extra steps, but the referee didn't see it. Zimmerman cuts to the rim, but a great block there from Massenberg. Still finds its way all the way out to Shuttlewood, but she misses everything.
That's one of those rare hustle rebounds there for Mary Schleisinger, always grabbing them at the rim, but hustling outside of the paint and grabbing that one all the way in the corner, kicking it to Shuttlewood. Wasn't able to knock it down, but good looks nonetheless. And the Generals offensively are rolling long with their defense, but Guilford can't buy a basket. This is where you really want to turn over if you're the Quakers.
Yeah, you like to see them maybe get a little more of that aggressive ball pressure that they had. Sticking in a bit of a zone defense here. Generals ball movement trying to cut their way through. It'll be Kanea trying her luck from distance, but she's not able to get it. Giannopoulou grabs the board. The Generals before that three-pointer were shooting 80% this quarter. Giannopoulou gets her shot blocked by Schleisinger. Schleisinger right now really doing everything for the Generals. You take a look at her stats, not necessarily shooting the best from the field, but 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. Playing the jack-of-all-trades role this game, and gets a deflection there, forcing a steal.
And if you're Guilford, you need something better offensively than just cutting to the basket. You need some back screeners. What a pass from Mary Schleisinger.
And Schleisinger just totally understood Guilford defense there and able to find Actor for just an easy 2. Dunn cutting to the rim. Schleisinger closes out on defense. Giannopoulou tries again from distance. Just unable to hit. Guilford now gone scoreless almost in their last 4.5 minutes of play. Just unable to find anything offensively. What a nice little floater there from Shuttlewood. Beautiful little shot for 2.
And that's an unguardable shot there from Bree Shuttlewood. Getting in the basket, creating some space, and those floaters, when you get them so high, shot blockers can't make a contest on it.
Massenberg gets to the rim, unable to score, but gets her own board. Giannopoulou thought about the 3. Massenberg will take it instead, rolls all the way around the rim, and doesn't fall. Schleisinger there, draws the blocking foul on Massenberg. That'll put the Generals into double bonus. 2 free throws coming. Mary Schleisinger. More substitutions for Guilford. It'll be Skylar Furr, McMillan, Perry checking back into the game. Generals Kat Pettigrove waiting on the bench. Presumably to check in for Schleisinger, given or granted that she makes this free throw. And that free throw extends this Generals run 20-0 in the last 5 minutes and 25-5 in the last 8. Just a dominant offensive performance in this second quarter.
Not just dominance on offense, dominance on defense, only allowing 5 points in the quarter, and the Quakers are scoreless through the last 6 minutes. You can see defense doing it without the starters out there. The only starter on the floor is Elka Prekel, but everyone pitching in defensively, and a great box out from Lauren Actor as well.
Actor pump fakes the 3, finds Pettigrove inside. She had good position there. He thought maybe she'd go up for it, but tries to kick it out, commits the turnover. And here's McMillan, a great look from outside and unable to knock it down, but Furr grabs the board. Gonna call a foul inside there on Pettigrove. So I'll send Furr to the line for a couple, and all coming back in for the Quakers.
And if you're Furr here, here's where you want to stop the bleeding. Need to knock down a couple of free throws. She misses the front end. Got to get something of a moral victory right now to try to claw and scratch your way back into this. It starts one play at a time. That starts right here at the free throw line.
She's unable to hit either of them. The scoring drought continues for Guilford. Almost up to 6.5 minutes now, and Preckle finds herself wide open from beyond the arc, but she'll slow it down, get it back out to Shuttlewood. Zimmerman.
Guilford switching everything defensively, but losing track of some offensive players.
Shuttlewood tries her luck from distance, unable to hit. Libby McMillan going the other way. Ball with it now in the corner. She drives to the rim. Massenberg puts one up, unable to hit. And Actor now moving the other way. Preckle from distance. I'm going to say that she traveled trying to gather herself for that three. Couple of extra little shuffles there, and Generals commit the turnover.
And honestly, I don't know what the referee was seeing on that one. That was a straight pull up into a three. It wasn't like she dragged her foot. She dribbled it, gathered, and was shooting. Maybe a little bit of a slide, but nothing we could see from up here of that nature. And Coach Kemp certainly was confused on the sideline as well.
And that one deflected at the feet of both Shuttlewood and Zimmerman. Trying to get out on the fast break. Can't do so on a kickball. Giannopoulos, the one coming back into the game for the Quakers, and Bayer as well checking in. And no Quakers player has scored more than 4 points in this contest. Nobody really able to get great looks, and no Quakers players has hit one more shot, or is it any more than one shot from the field as well. So they just need to try to slow down their offense and find good looks to try to claw back into this game.
And it's a little bit of a balance between slowing down and being patient, but they've been getting so late into the shot clock as well. They haven't gotten any good looks.
Bayer there able to get all the way to the rim. As has been the case for most of this quarter, the shots are just not going in.
We'll see if the Generals want to play this 2-for-1 opportunity right now.
And Pettigrove there just left completely wide open. Guilford there playing a little overzealous on defense. Pettigrove finishes for 2 to bring the Generals lead up to 25.
A big possession here for Guilford if they can try to score before the end of this half and end this drought, but they can't. And the Generals can hold for the last shot.
That looks like exactly what they're going to do. Shuttlewood in no rush. She's got Actor and Pettigrove up with her looking to set screens. And Actor there leaned in a little bit too much, lost her footing. And I'll give the Quakers about 5 seconds to try to end this scoring drought that goes back all the way to about 8 minutes and 45 seconds left in this second quarter. It was about the last time they scored. It's been a while since Guilford have seen one go in.
A 22-0 run here, but now Guilford has a chance to end it, but a half-court heave, still with about 3 seconds on the clock, is not how they're going to do it.
And that will end the first half. Washington and Lee really did what they needed to do in that quarter, started making their shots, and they find themselves now with a 25-point lead, up 40-15. Really, what happened and what went wrong there for Guilford?
Well, in the first quarter, it was a defensive struggle fest. Really, defensive battle, 15-10 at the end of the first quarter. The Generals shot 24%. Guilford shooting just over 33%. But you kind of had a sense that things were going to change going into the second quarter. The Generals shooting such a low clip, but having 9 more field goal attempts. And then in the second quarter, Generals outscoring Guilford 25-5, going on that 22-0 run after Guilford took a lead in the beginning of the second quarter. Generals shot 56%. Guilford shot 1 for 20. They can't buy a basket right now. And Guilford and the Quakers are really going to have to draw up some offensive play calls to try to get this offense kick-started going into the second half and look for the next play, something to build off of offensively.
Yeah, it really was a tale of 2 quarters, as you talked about. The first quarter, both teams came out discombobulated. But in the second, the Generals really slowed it down, and Guilford were just not able to buy a shot to save their life. Only shooting, as you said, 1 for 20 or 5% from the field in that quarter, and that simply is just not winning basketball. But we'll step aside here at Holekamp Gym in Lexington, Virginia, with the Generals of Washington Elite, 14th ranked in the nation, leading the Guilford College Quakers by a score of 40-15. We'll be back after this.
Inclusion means making what we offer here at W&L accessible to the broadest possible swath of students that are out there.
W&L has a phenomenal financial aid program, which allows so many more students to come here.
I've been very fortunate to have access to W&L's financial aid system, and they definitely want to make sure that students have access to all kinds of opportunities, and the cost is not a barrier for, say, a spring term abroad.
Once you come, no matter your financial background, we are going to ensure that you have access to all of the opportunities that form the W&L educational experience.
The Johnson Scholarship is a scholarship for leadership and integrity. I am very grateful for all of the aid that it's given me to get to go to college for free, but also with the scholarship, we get a summer stipend.
W&L finds ways to support students, and that makes my job a lot easier to have students who are supported and feel like this is a place where they can succeed.
We ensure that they have funds and resources that allow them to take part in research and internships and all kinds of summer opportunities.
Being able to graduate debt-free is such a privilege.
It is life-changing if a student can graduate without loan debts.
You kind of have a fresh slate. You're not going into the world with debt that you need to worry about and all of that pressure on top of the normal post-graduation pressure.
Getting the opportunity to come to an amazing school like W&L and knowing that I will graduate and not have all this debt has completely changed my life. My parents still can't really believe it, and it's just, I love it so much, and I love W&L.
If you could add anyone or anything to Mount Rushmore, what would you put up there?
I think this was my answer in the fall too, but I said my dog's face. Michelle Obama.
My roommate, my inspiration, my muse, Katie Lawson.
We'll have to say Katie Lawson. Katie Lawson.
Katie Lawson.
Katie Lawson. Probably Katie Lawson. Katie Lawson, I'd have to say. Just off the top of my head, Katie Lawson. She's just stellar junior number 3 out of Chevy Chase, Maryland. I would hopefully carve her, but you know, she's got to be up there.
Tough one, Katie Lawson.
I think I would probably have to add Katie Lawson's face because she's really pretty. Katie Lawson. Definitely Katie Lawson.
I'm gonna have to say Katie Lawson.
Icy's face.
For the love of the game. That's what it's all about, they say. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that, a lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team and the schools and communities we represent.
And for the many of us blessed with the strength to compete in sport at the college level, we understand that with what we were given comes a special obligation.
An obligation not merely to work towards a personal best in the classroom or in the sport we love, but rather an obligation to help those who have their own special needs and whose love for the game is no less intense.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics. For Special Olympics athletes, victory belongs not only to those who first cross the line, but to all of those who compete and endure.
They are challenged in ways we cannot imagine. They are survivors who test themselves harder and with greater joy than we will ever know.
Since August of 2011, we and others from Division III campus communities have volunteered more than 250,000 hours, time away from the classroom and practice field. reaching across the country to coach and mentor Special Olympics athletes.
And to learn, as we all do, that in giving, we receive so much more in return.
Sport ennobles us, and in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
Be part of it.
Get involved.
You can make a difference.
Student success goes far beyond grades. Yes, students want to come and they want to achieve in their classrooms, but they also want to learn all of those things that are going to stay with them for the rest of their lives.
I would say the majority of Washington Lee students are, in addition to taking their classes, also at least part of 3 or 4 clubs.
When I got to this campus, I would have described myself as this really shy person who, yes, did theater and could perform on stage, but couldn't talk to people one-on-one. Now I'm the social chair of 3 different organizations on campus. Really, the transformation is just completely crazy.
While academics is first and we are student athletes, the professors here at W&L also want you to succeed in your athletic commitments. And so being able to work with the professors so you're able to get everything that you want out of your athletic commitments while also being academically successful as well.
I'm in a fraternity. It's been a really good opportunity, and I've grown really close with the guys who joined at the same time as me. Being around them, them being some of my best friends, has really just allowed me to grow as though we were a family together.
Of my really close friends, I would say that at least 2, if not 3 of them, I've met through the theater department. We get a lot of students who come in and do the shows, and so having friends that aren't necessarily theater majors but love to do the theater shows here makes it really special.
I sing in the Grace Episcopal Choir, where I've gotten to meet a number of people within the Lexington community, which has just been a super cool experience because Washington and Lee is so connected to Lexington, and so getting to be on both sides of it has just been an amazing experience.
Rockbridge is this beautiful rural setting. The campus kind of bleeds right into the rural areas with the back campus farm and things like that. And so students are often out and about taking advantage of our back campus forest, the farm, and then getting out into some of the forested areas.
Lexington comes alive during spring term. The outing club becomes really active, doing hiking trails through the mountains. You could float down the Maury, which is a river that runs through Lexington itself. It's a really great time to be in this part of the country.
We want students to feel good about what they're doing and how they're growing and how they are becoming the people they want to be. That's student success at W&L.
What is one thing you have to do before every game to get ready to play?
Ooh, I guess listen to some hype music.
Put my hair in a ponytail.
I stretch with Quincy.
I just put my beats on top of my head and really just envision making that layup. I feel like I normally get to the locker room pretty early and just kind of hang out, listen to music.
I'm really superstitious, so when I have a good game, I tend to repeat the exact steps that I do before that game happens for the following games.
Probably listen to Taylor Swift.
Before every game, I listen to the Lorax soundtrack.
I have a very extensive stretching routine that I do before every game.
I'll eat an RX bar and I'll listen to Last Kiss by Taylor Swift. Usually I just take a breath during the national anthem. I normally pray before every game.
I usually text my mom and just talk to her a little bit.
I usually have to take a quick nap before every single game to get the jitters out.
Put my leggings on.
Before every game, I listen to my favorite song, The Electric Powwow Drum, just to get me excited to go into war.
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
Passion's love. Passion is love for what you do. Because I think when you face challenges, it comes down to how much you want it and how much you love it. Passion is what keeps you going forward. Seeing so many people that were like-minded and so hardworking in their sport and academics, being surrounded by like-minded people makes you want to be more passionate. I think it pushes you to a different level that maybe you didn't think you had. You can do the best of both worlds and love all of it.
A good citizen is someone who wants to make a positive impact, both in their communities and in the world around them. The Division III approach is absolutely the best approach out there for amateur sport because it wants student athletes to explore all parts of who they are. Be successful in the classroom, be successful in competition, be successful in the community. So our student athletes learn what it means to strive for and attain success, but doing it the right way and being good citizens.
Comprehensive learning is being able to adapt to experiences and apply the things that I learned. Being an athlete and juggling academics helped me grow as a person, and things that I've learned, I was able to apply it in another field, putting them into everyday life. Developing comprehensive learning helped me prioritize certain things to make sure I get to where I want to be.
Responsibility is being accountable for your words and actions, first and foremost. It also is an obligation to be a positive influence in the communities around you. Being in a D3 program, you're going to have lots of different opportunities. You're not just an athlete, you're also involved in student life. Your academics are extremely important. We give a lot of our student athletes responsibilities right from the start by giving them leadership opportunities, by having them engage in the community, being a positive influence. That's being a responsible person.
I believe sportsmanship is a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
Welcome back from halftime. Back into Lexington, Virginia. The Guilford College Quakers trailing the Generals by a score of 15-40. Take a look at some of the first half stats and how we've gotten to where we are in the game so far. As talked about, the Generals leading a score of 40-15. You take a look at field goal percentage and three-point field goal percentage. That's really where this game has been won for the Generals, and so far lost for Guilford. 36.8% from the field for the Generals, just 15% for Guilford on the day. 33.3% from the three-point arc for the Generals, just 10% for Guilford. Generals lead the rebounding category, 28-22, and then a turnover category, 6-11 as well. But Kaden, really, where were the struggles for Guilford in that first half? I mean, the field goal percentage obviously shows that, but how can they improve upon that, fix that going into this half?
Well, it all has to start from the defensive end. They've done a really nice job of forcing the Generals not to make a lot of shots, but they have to turn some of that defense into offense like they did to start the game, to give them their early lead, keep them in that first quarter. But then offensively, they have to try to move a little bit faster. They've not attacked early in the shot clock. In that way, the Generals defense has gotten set and then just outperformed Guilford's offense, and that Guilford has gotten so many looks late in the shot clock to where they don't have any opportunity to score. So attack early, attack often if you're the Quakers.
Generals trying to get going early with Preckle from beyond the arc. They really found their groove from beyond the arc in that second quarter, shooting 50%.
And right there is where I'd love to see the Quakers, instead of attacking late and letting the defense get set, attack early.
It'll be Bayer, the one with it, trying to get right to the cup, and she draws an early foul. Both teams sticking with the starters in the second half, and Bayer with her chance to go to the line. Her first opportunity from there for this game, and as I talked about earlier, she is their top scorer with about 14 points a game. Something's got to give for this Quaker offense trying to get on court. She's able to knock down the first, get Guilford's first points in about 9 minutes of action. Knocks down both. Guilford Getting going early defensively as well with some full court pressure. Getting the steal was Giannopoulou. And Walter thought she threw that one out, but Bayer able to save it and get the ball back to McMillan. Bayer trying to find her way through. Guilford once again taking it deep into the shot clock. McMillan open for three. Unable to hit it, but she gets the rebound, unable to hit her follow-up. And the third one goes down, so great hustle play there from McMillan. And Guilford with the first 4 points of the second half.
That's how you have to do if you're Guilford, going one play at a time, and you can see coming out in this trap, trying to turn some of their defense into offense and almost forcing a turnover, and they may have.
Yeah, possession arrow in favor of Guilford there. The Generals struggling out of the half with this full court pressure. Zimmerman trying to go right into it there. And she loses the ball. Guilford moving it around the paint. Giannopoulou, looks like she took an extra step there. Hopped in the paint before she shot her layup. Hit the shot, but it won't count. For Guilford right now, they're liking the full court look. McGinnis able to break it though and get it out to a wide open Bryant for three. She's unable to hit. Now it'll be McMillan trying to go but quickly the other way.
Right here's where I want to see Guilford attack. Go into the paint like Scott is right here.
A great move there for Scott, but again, just not able to finish at the cup. And it'll be McGinnis going the other way. Zimmerman put it on the floor. Her layup doesn't go, but falls to Schleissner. She cuts it inside to Bryant. Bryant, a strong finish inside, able to get the roll. The Generals get on court here in the second half.
But good response from Guilford, going right away.
I'm not fully sure what the call was there. It looked like ball went out of bounds and then back inbounds. I'm not fully sure there, but the ball will stay with Guilford there. Coach Matthews clearly upset on that block by Schleissner, but the officials will say it was totally clean. And now a 30-second timeout for Washington and Lee, but we'll keep it here. Guilford, if you take a look at the recent history against Washington and Lee, the last time they were able to beat the Generals is all the way back February 27th, 2020. It's quite a long time ago that they've been struggling to get on court against the Generals. It'll be their 6th loss in a row if they're not able to pull this one out. And Coach Matthews is yet to take down the Generals. But they've certainly come out with more energy and looked better to start this second half, haven't they, Kaden?
Yeah, and for the first 3:03, the Generals been scoreless the first 2.5 minutes of the second half, so doing everything you want out of the half defensively. Offensively, they've been able to put up 4 points. Check that, the Generals actually did score 2 points. Didn't update until right this second, but still, you're doing everything you want from the defensive end, but it has to come offensively. They had 15 points in the first half, 4 points so far through the first 2.5 minutes, but you're gonna have to attack early, try to hit some transition threes, try to get to the basket quick if you want a chance to come back into this one.
And Guilford certainly have been putting the emphasis inside. Scott especially has been trying to get some open looks. And Guilford with a different look. Dunn will come back in. Perry, Massenberg, all getting their first looks in this second half. Speaking of going right inside, here's Perry with it off the inbound. Massenberg with a nice little mid-range. And Walter, the smallest one on the floor, able to come in and secure a rebound, but McGinnis did a good job getting her hands in there. Possession arrow in favor of Washington and Lee.
I like Guilford coming out with some pressure right here, but the Generals have done such an amazing job at breaking through the pressure and turning it into offense. As you see Quinn McGinnis split the double team, but a turnover.
Massenberg stole that one away from McGinnis. Guilford will get set back up in their offense. Moving the ball around, finds its way to Dunn. An accurate pass there from Dunn. McMillan forced to go back and get it. Shot clock again, down to 5. And Walter, good job getting to the rim, but unable to finish around Preckle there. Sleisner lost control of it. Did her best to try to win back possession, but another turnover for the Generals. Have struggled holding onto the ball to start this second half. Another substitution now for Guilford. Skylar Furr coming back into the game, giving McMillan some rest.
And the Generals have thrown so many different looks at this Guilford offense. I don't know if pressure is what you want right now, but it has been working out, and it seems like the Generals defense can do no wrong.
Slicer's been dominant down low on defensively. Quite a few blocks already in this game, up to 4. Taylor Dunn committing the foul for the Quakers as Bayer checks back in for Walter. Looking for Sleisner down low. She finds a little open mid-range, unable to hit. Sleisner certainly not prolific scoring offensively today, but she's been so much more all-around rebounding and defensively. Perry finds good position inside, and she's able to score for 2. The official allowing some time for substitution there. Massenberg a little shaken up after that play. I hope that she's okay. Scott coming in for the injured Massenberg. And Shuttlewood picks up her dribble, left all alone. She'll try her footwork from distance. Again, just too strong. Scott looking to get to the rim. And Dunn, a nice little pull up from mid-range there, and Guilford cut to this lead under 20. Cross-court pass to Zimmerman from Bryant. Slicer now, good move inside, finds Bryant with perfect position. And the Generals were able to bring it back up to 21.
And now Riley Bryant has all 4 points of this second half, but if you're Guilford, this is what you want. You've been able to score a little bit better in just building basket by basket, play by play, brick by brick, if I might say. The Guilford College Quakers just have to keep chipping away at this lead and try to get it back under 20 again, then back under 15, back under 10, and keep it going.
And that takes us to our media timeout. We'll step aside. Just a few moments here. The Generals carrying a 21-point lead, about halfway to go in this third quarter. Back here on the campus of Washington and Lee, about halfway through this third quarter. Guilford certainly playing much better than they did in that second quarter. Still trying to claw their way back into this game, finding themselves down by 21 points. It's Bayer now on the wing. She's looking to go to the rim. Sleisner picks the pass off and Looks to go coast to coast. She loses her, jumps from her feet there and commits the turnover. Bayer now finds Fur on the inside, back to Bayer. Nice little pump fake, she puts it up, but Slicer's length there just a little bit too much. Shuttle will look to carry it back up the Generals and slow things down a bit. Zimmerman there thought her sister Megan was going to try to make a cut to the rim, but it's not on the same page. And another turnover for this Generals team this quarter. It's their 5th. They only had 6 all in the first half. For Guilford doing a much better job taking care of the ball. Just the 1 turnover so far this quarter.
And if Guilford can break this pressure early on, they might be able to get a transition 3 look or something of that sort.
The 3-pointers have not been kind to them today. Just 1 for 11 from beyond the arc. There'll be an and one opportunity there for McMillan on the inside.
And just as you said, Shane, they might be struggling from three-point land, but how about that? From McMillan to do it the old-fashioned way and try to shift momentum here halfway through this third.
McMillan, this is her 2nd trip to the line, hit both earlier in the game. She knocks that one down too, cutting this Generals lead down to 18. Generals able to beat the pressure. Once again, they'll slow things up on offense. Here's McGinnis with it. She kicks it to Megan Zimmerman. Zimmerman looking for Schleissner inside. They're able to find her, and she's left open for a mid-range. That one rolls off the rim. And Walter now pushing it up for Guilford. And McMillan there had some room for the drive. She was unable to finish, and then Schleissner with a bit too heavy of a pass for Zimmerman, and she steps out for another Generals turnover.
And this is what can get the Generals into trouble, especially in games like this where they were up 25 at half. Now Guilford has the ball, has a chance to cut it to 15. They're going to be right back in this game, Shane.
The Generals, a couple substitutions there. It'll be Actor, Kanea, Preckle coming into the game. Quakers opting to keep their lineup out. Here's Hall with it. She's surveying. Back to Hall. And Zimmerman read that play perfectly, able to come over and steal that pass from Hall. Here's Kanea with it. Out to Preckle. She's open for 3. Dangerous shooter there, but unable to knock that one down. Massenberg. McMillan now, back to Massenberg. She tries a mid-range, knocks it down. Guilford now cutting this lead bit by bit, down to 16. W&L haven't scored in a couple minutes now.
Kanea got all the way behind the pressure, but lucky for them, they didn't see it.
Preckle misses her 3, but Kanea gets the board. Zimmerman now left open for 3. She misses. And Walter with the rebound. She has Massenberg with her. This is exactly where she tried to go, but that one came off the foot of a Generals defender. And now another platoon swap for the Quakers. It'll be Fur, Dunn, Bayer out there, Scott, Perry coming back into the game.
Now we're seeing a little bit this third quarter treating the Generals how the second quarter treated Guilford. Scoring drought of 3 minutes now for the Generals. And if you want to silence them, it has to start defensively.
And a little bit of a late whistle there from the official. That's one's going to go against Preckle for the block. It'll be Bayer, the one going to the line. One trip for her earlier in this game, knocking them both down, and she knocks down the first. It really has been a group effort scoring-wise today for Guilford. Their top scorer, McMillan, with 7 points, and plenty of other players getting involved on the scoring end, but nobody really taking control for the Quakers on the offensive side of the ball. An actor there going to be fouled by Perry. Perry just a little bit too active with her hands up there and commits the foul. Slicer checks back in for Sarah Zimmerman. Despite some early foul trouble for Guilford, it hasn't seemed to come back to bite them yet so far. A bad pass there on the inbound from McGinnis, and Furr tries to go the whole distance. The ball gets stuck, and they're gonna call a foul there. Will be a shooting foul, that one on Slicer.
And how about how the tides have changed really in this third quarter? Guilford doing everything right, building brick by brick, play by play back into this one. Down 14. Furr's got a chance for 2 here.
And free throws right now really guiding their way back into this game. Already shooting more free throws this quarter than the other two. And they had been perfect up into that point, but still 5 for 6 this quarter from the line, certainly helping them get back into this game. And great movement there by McGinnis, finds Kanea wide open down low. The Generals get their third bucket of the quarter.
And when things go rough, who else to go to but your point guard, your maestro, and Quinn McGinnis finding a wide open Kanea under the basket.
That one, Perry trying to save it on the inside, trying to get the ball out to Scott, throw it over there. Ball just roll right out of play, and Actor was the one to inbound it for the Generals.
Preckles wide open on the bottom side.
Generals ball movement, finding its way inside, and Actor, a great little move to find her 2 more points.
And that's what the Generals have been missing, is that great ball movement that has gotten them back-to-back wide open layups.
Furr using her size inside on Preckle. Preckle really stood no chance there, and Furr finds 2 more.
And again, great ball movement from the Generals here. Surprised the kick ball wasn't called there, though, on McGinnis or the defender.
And McGinnis just a little bit too early with that pass, and it'll be a turnover. Back to Guilford, and Dunn pulls up from distance, knocking down the Guilford second 3 of the night. And that'll do it for the third quarter. Guilford, excellent play from them, clawing their way back into this game thanks to some great offensive play.
Putting on a show in that third quarter, most definitely. Guilford 6 for 15 from the field, outscoring the Generals 18-8.
Yeah, and we'll step aside as we're about to reach the fourth quarter. The Generals lead cut down to 12. We have some exciting ODAC fourth quarter action waiting for you when we return. Back inside Holekamp Gymnasium. Some fourth quarter action between the Guilford College Quakers and the Generals of Washington and Lee, currently leading 48-36.
Guilford has an opportunity right here, starting with possession, to cut this lead to single digits or at least to 10, ending it on a high note and now scoring the Generals 18-8. But you can't throw turnovers like that if you're going to scratch and claw your way back into this one after being down 25 at half.
And Zimmerman's been doing an excellent job defensively, reading a lot of those pass plays before they happen. Coming up with quite a few steals. It's her second steal of the game. A lot of other deflections she's had as she drives the ball inside offensively. She gets fouled as she goes to the rim. 2 more shots coming for the Generals from the free throw line. Didn't have any free throw attempts in that third quarter. But already, first minute, putting some emphasis on getting inside and drawing some fouls. It'll be Perry checking out for Massenburg. Picked up her third foul there. Don't want to get into foul trouble early in the fourth quarter. Zimmerman knocks down the first. In the last quarter, the Generals got outscored 21-8 from the field. Certainly much different story than what we saw in that second quarter. And we'll see if Guilford are able to continue that momentum into the fourth. And a great play there from McGinnis, just standing in tall and strong. Good position inside and drawing the charge. That's Dunn's third foul, so 3 Guilford players now with 3 fouls. Generals able to beat the full court press. They'll move into their half court offense. Bryant, she gets to Sleisner. A lot of pressure inside, and Scott able to steal it. Dunn laying out on the floor. McGinnis had almost a free layup there, but was unable to corral it. Scott will now come down the other end. She had that ball knocked away from her, but it'll stay Quaker ball. And the crowd clearly not happy with that call. The officials now talking over it. And they'll reverse the call to the other way. Crowd reaction there. Getting the officials to huddle up and meet and fix their call. For Dunn there, just really careless foul given. That's the second Guilford player now with 4 fouls. Perry and Dunn both now on the bench for Guilford. Generals trying to break this full court press and getting 2 fouls in the process. Guilford already now with 4 fouls committed this quarter.
Yeah, and the next one will be free throws for the Generals going the distance. So 1:15 into this one, and the Generals will be shooting free throws for the rest of the way. Your message to your team, if you're Guilford, has to be you can't foul. You have to make your way back into this one clean now.
A lot of these fouls are when the Generals still have the ball on the other side of the court. Certainly not the most ideal foul to give. Furr will check back into the game. Scott going to the bench. She also picked up her 4th foul on that last play. And McGinnis using the back of Massenburg, who wasn't paying attention, to get the inbound in. And then Zimmerman with the strong position inside to get 2 points for the Generals.
What a play from Quinn McGinnis. The back of the defender facing her, and she just bounced it off of her. Now the Generals forcing another turnover.
Just some heads-up plays, both sides of the court for the Generals on defense, and then obviously, as you talked about, that creative inbound from McGinnis.
Now it'll be an off-the-ball foul on Furr. Again, the little mistakes that you just can't have to put the Generals into the bonus free throws with still 8:08 to go.
And fouls are really going to be a big factor as this game continues to go on. As I talked about, 3 players for Guilford all on the bench with 4 fouls, but double bonus the rest of the way. It's going to make it difficult for Guilford to try to come back into it. Slicer knocked down the first. Misses the second one, but Zimmerman gets good position and grabs the board. And a timeout by Coach Kemp, trying to keep possession there. Generals have certainly come out with more energy this quarter than the last. And we'll step aside just for a few moments. We'll be back with some more fourth quarter action after this. Back here inside a Holekamp gym. Slicer now missing that shot, but Zimmerman again with another offensive rebound. Slicer spinning inside, misses again, but McGinnis relentless on the glass and finds another two for the Generals. Lead back up to 18.
And McGinnis has done it everywhere to make an impact on this game. Passing, being a maestro, and scoring there.
McMillan getting inside for the Quakers, getting their couple points this quarter. They haven't scored yet. Able to find the range there. Bryant misses inside. Bayer will take it now the other way. She finds Walter wide open for three. That one rolled around the entire rim, doesn't go in. Furr thought she got fouled inside. And they're going to say another foul on the floor. That one against McGinnis, her second of the game. General's not really in too much foul trouble as opposed to Guilford. Guilford still opting to keep their three players in foul trouble off the court with so much time left.
And a 5-second violation there on the baseline from Juliana Walter. You got to get the ball out of your hands, especially every possession so valuable right now with only 7 to go.
That's just a lapse in judgment and attention there for Guilford. But a good defensive play there from Massenburg, forcing that ball out of play. Dunn now coming in for Walter. Dunn with those 4 fouls, so certainly going to have to be wary as she's playing out there. A little bit of confusion there, but Giannopoulou will be allowed to check back into the game for Massenburg. Slicer kicks it out to Bryant. She's open in the corner for 3. It's Zimmerman, another offensive rebound. These offensive rebounds have been killing the Quakers this quarter. McGinnis with the board. Another possession where the Generals get 3 opportunities to score, but unable to do so there.
And now we're at the point in the quarter where the officials are going to start tightening it up for the Generals. Maybe not as much for Guilford defensively, just to try to even out that foul call. Seen 2 rather tic-tac fouls now on the Generals in the last 2 defensive possessions.
Coach Matthews calling the play out for Guilford. Wayward pass there from Dunn, though, and McGinnis is able to come up with it. Generals still holding on to this 16-point lead. Both teams struggling a little bit offensively this quarter. Slicer, easiest bucket she'll have all day. An easy 2 to get her up to 9 points on the day.
And who else did it come from but the point guard and Quinn McGinnis finding wide open Slicner and just making it so easy on the Generals All-American.
It'll be a timeout by Guilford there. 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. Slicner certainly not been her best shooting day by any stretch of the imagination. Just 2 of 11 from the field. But again, she's been doing it all. 9 points, 10 boards, 5 assists. Or just updated, rather, so she does a double-double with 11 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 5 blocks. She's really been putting in the work on both sides of the floor, Kaden.
And doing it at every level imaginable. Nailing a 3 today, 11 points, 10 boards, like you said. Playmaking with 5 assists. And defensively, 2 steals and 5 blocks, being the elite rim protector that Mary Slicner is. But she hasn't been the leading scorer today for the Generals. Instead, it's been Sarah Zimmerman, who has 14 points and 7 boards, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists.
And Guilford now trying to get things going offensively. Just 1 for 3 from the field this quarter. Giannopoulou, a good pump fake there. She finds herself inside and hits a nice little 10-footer. Cut the lead back down to 16. Full court pressure being used again by Guilford, trying to create some chaos. Good Generals passing, able to get through it, but unable to hit the shot is McGinnis. Giannopoulou will take it the other way, trying to further cut into this lead. But another travel there on McMillan.
And killer turnovers in big spots. It was the first quarter that killed them, and they've really come back to haunt Guilford in this fourth quarter. They've got 21 turnovers on the day, but in this quarter alone, they have 6.
Slicner steps through and finds the bottom of the rim. A little nice touch off the glass.
And a great step-through move there from Mary Slicner.
For good position inside, unable to finish the wide-open layup. Giannopoulou tries her luck from distance, and she gets her second 3 of the game. Giannopoulou starting to get uncorked a little bit offensively. And defensively, there was a good defensive play, grabbing the steal. She goes all the way inside. Draws the foul there. Looks like that one will go against Zimmerman. Giannopoulou starting to come alive here in this fourth quarter.
And at this point in the game, still in it, down 15 with 4:37. You're going to need some things to go your way. But if you can knock down your free throws, get a couple more turnovers, as the Generals have not been very secure with the ball in this one, they could turn it around, and it could turn around quick.
After hitting the first, here's Giannopoulou. Knocks them both down, so that brings her up to 10 points on the contest, and Guilford's leading scorer. So we'll see if she's the one that they look to go to continue to try to claw back into this game. But the lead now cut down to 13. Slicner, the football pass up to Zimmerman. But she lost control of it at Slicner as she tried to drive, and Giannopoulou comes away with a steal. She gets it inside to McMillan with some good position. Just unable to finish with McGinnis draped all over her.
Right here's where you need to slow it down if you're Coach Kemp's squad, or you can get it into the All-American.
Loose ball on the floor, everybody fighting for it. McGinnis did a good job making that pass hard for Giannopoulou. The Generals will keep possession.
And at this point in the matchup, you need to burn some more of this clock up. 4 minutes to go. You have all 30 seconds with the shot clock resetting. Possession going in your favor. Get it into one of your point guard and Bree Shuttlewood or Quinn McGinnis' hands.
Just a wayward pass on that inbound. Zimmerman unable to control it. Bayer gets to the rim, unable to finish. Perry grabbed the offensive rebound. Again, good defense inside, active hands, and forcing misses from Guilford. Just Actor with it, just checking into the game. Great pass inside to McGinnis. Her layup's a little off the mark, and immediately she understands a little bit of a careless foul there. And she'll check out for Preckle. 10 for the Generals coming back into the game. Giannopoulou gets her position inside. Just a great move there, stepping through Zimmerman.
The Generals have to be really careful here. They've dominated and felt like they have this lead, but only up 11, but Sarah Zimmerman making it 13.
Zimmerman always finding timely baskets for this Generals team, and another one there. Bayer tries her luck from distance, and she's able to knock down a three. Now the Generals lead cut to 10. Zimmerman able to spin through, gets it out to her sister Megan, and she knocks down a three to match.
How about the offense waking up right here, right now, Shane?
Yeah, both teams coming alive here as this fourth quarter continues to wind down. Guilford still clawing their way back into this game. Scott, she'll try her luck from distance, and she knocks it down.
3 threes in a row, and here's where the Generals have to be careful. You can't throw a turnover, let it turn into a transition three for Guilford.
Yeah, Guilford's outside shooters really heating up these last couple possessions. Zimmerman spins inside, and a great and one opportunity as she finishes down low.
And right there, that's why we talked about Sarah Zimmerman in the pregame. Such an X factor. Quinn McGinnis and Mary Sleisner off the court. Who do you go to? It's the All-American in soccer and your junior leader in Sarah Zimmerman, who's got 18 with a chance to make it 19 at the line.
Guilford trying to steal a quick huddle here. Coach Matthews trying to coach her team up through these final couple minutes. The way that they've been shooting a long ball and really everything this quarter, you can't expect anything. The officials now urging the Quakers to get back out onto the court. Bayer comes in for Giannopoulou. A lot of movement right now for Guilford around the court. Zimmerman trying to make it a three-point play. A free throw off the mark, so still just a 12-point lead for Washington in the league. First, that's the pick for Bayer. Back inside to Furr. She just had her shot blocked, stripped clean by Sleisner.
You could see the IQ of Quinn McGinnis there. The whole team trying to go fast, but she slowed it down for a squad.
And an excellent play there from Dunn. Unable to win the ball, but Furr inside blocks Zimmerman. Great defensive possession there for the Quakers. Trying to come down and score a much-needed bucket here.
Got to go quick and got to get this one if it could just not fall.
And the Quakers now really running low on time. Zimmerman gets all the way inside on the other end and finds two more. That gives her 20 points on the night. Guilford now still surveying in their offense. Dunn opted for the mid-range. And no real transition defense for Guilford. McGinnis able to get all the way inside, but Walter did a good job getting a hand in the face. And they're going to say that one came off of Washington and Lee.
If you're Guilford here, go quick. Try to get a quick three-point look.
Guilford not really playing with any sense of urgency here. They're just going to run their normal offense and try to get a couple final looks before the final buzzer sounds. Turn that one over, and the Generals coming up the court the other way. Looks like they're going to be able to hold on and survive to win their 9th straight game in a row. And a great pass inside to Megan Zimmerman. She finishes down low to build this Generals lead back up to 16. Bayer now with it. Another turnover by Bayer there, and that one will seal it. And the Generals, fitting that the ball ends with the hands of Sarah Zimmerman, are able to come away with the 69-53 W against the Guilford College Quakers.
And in this one, Mary Sleisner at 13 points and 13 boards, but Sarah Zimmerman was the true X factor for the Generals. 20 points, efficient shooting, 8 for 14 from the floor, 2 for 3 from the field. And to add on to that, 7 boards, 2 assists, and 3 steals and a block, doing it at every phase, at every level of the game.
Yeah, for the Generals, it really was the Sarah Zimmerman, and it always is the Mary Sleisner show for the Generals. When you take a look at the Quakers side of the ball, Giannopoulou ended up having quite the day herself offensively, hitting a couple of threes, shooting it well from the line, but just really came up short. What went wrong today for the Quakers?
And for the Quakers, there was just that 22-0 run in the second quarter. Deflated them, and they were really never able to get back into it. Their offense went stagnant, and they weren't going early enough into the shot clock to initiate anything. They were content to settle with looks late in the shot clock. And if you're the Quakers moving forward, you know you have to get early, get some good looks, create some movement, and get open looks from either in or outside of the arc.
Yeah, the Quakers outscored the Generals by 9 points in that second half. But as you talked about, that second quarter, the Generals scored 25 points, just the Quakers 5. That really is where a lot of this game can be pointed to, is that the Quakers struggles in that second quarter shooting the ball efficiently. But the Generals now improved to 9 wins straight in a row. And the Quakers dropped their 3rd in a row. The Generals' upcoming schedule, we take a look. They do have a couple more games back-to-back at home next Wednesday against Eastern Mennonite University here in Holekamp Gym, and then next Saturday, February 1st, against Randolph-Macon College, a big one as we talked about as we looked at the ODAC standings earlier. Randolph-Macon is currently sitting in 2nd, undefeated in conference play, and the Generals sitting in 3rd with just that 1 loss to Bridgewater. So a couple of really big games coming up for the Generals. And you take a look at Quakers next. The Quakers next couple of games, they're going to be taking on Christopher Newport at home on the 29th, and then Lynchburg next Saturday, February 1st. So a couple of potentially winning games that they have coming up. Christopher Newport is a pretty solid team down there in Newport News, and Lynchburg towards the bottom of the ODAC standings, but ODAC basketball can never be predicted. But that just about does it here from Washington and Lee campus and Holekamp Gym. I'm Shane Riley, joined by my partner Kaden Buss. We thank you so much for tuning in today. The Generals of Washington and Lee, 14th ranked team nationally, get a big win today to improve their record, and the 69-53 over the Quaker College. We thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Shane Riley, and have a good night.